Tracy is now probably in her late 20s, and so when I first met her, she was probably in her early 20s, and she has cerebral palsy and is a very determined person, and she initially got involved with the RERC, I think as part of a research project, and then joined us in the first round of the Writers Brigade. She actually published more than anybody else has or is likely to, probably. During the time she was participating in the Writers Brigade, I think she was finishing her master's degree. Then she decided she wanted a full-time job and unrelentingly used her social networking, some of which had come from her involvement with the RERC, and landed a job at a university where she moved away from a very, very supportive family. It was a grant, I believe, that she was heading up, where she actually did a lot more writing, and I think she was writing the newsletter for the project. And then decided that she was really interested in making a difference in the area of disabilities and disability rights. So she'd go on and get her PhD, and that's what she's doing now. She's in the middle of a PhD program, and she's not one to take no for an answer, and although she's quite physically challenged, she manages to find her way around lots of different difficulties that she confronts.
Was there another student involved with the Writers Brigade that had an interesting kind of thing I think we'd all want to hear about?
That would be Pam, I think. I mean, there's stories everywhere, but Pam is the current manager of the Writers Brigade. So she's now managing the Writers Brigade in its second round. She's after Katrina happened, there was a group who were working with USAC, the national chapter of ISAC, to identify people along the Gulf Coast who needed help and raise money to provide support. The manufacturers were really swapping out equipment that had gotten flooded, and what we discovered actually was that there was nobody there. In other words, so many people had left the area that we ended up having some money that people had donated to spend. So Pam was among the major contributors to the committee that decided to do a conference in the New Orleans Gulf Coast area, and to let people come for very little money. It was a very successful conference. Pam came, she did a presentation both before the conference to a group of first responders. So she's taken a national leadership role in making sure that people who have communication problems in emergency situations, that first responders understand their needs, can address their needs, and so she met initially with them, a presentation at the conference, and she's continued to work in that area, and actually has a webcast up on the RERC website about emergency preparedness for people who use AAC techniques and strategies. Because the truth was, it's changing now thanks to Pam and other efforts, but the truth was that although people who are deaf, needs had been identified and addressed, people who are blind needs, and people who had physical disabilities, but if you couldn't communicate in an emergency situation, the people who are trying to help you really didn't know what to do.
Mm.
So she's had a big impact. And now, in addition, she's managing the next round of the Writers Brigade. Yeah.